All right, let's jump into this Breakthrough Advertising
Okay.
by Eugene Schwartz.
Yeah.
This book, I mean, it's used copies are going for like $900.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like the guide to writing
Right.
crazy effective advertising.
Yeah.
Um,
It's legendary.
what makes this book,
It's so different. Yeah.
what makes it different from any other marketing book out there?
Well, I think that Schwartz's methods, he's not just teaching you to write
Yeah.
a catchy slogan,
Right, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's teaching you how to tap into desires that your market doesn't even realize that they have yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like he's giving you a map to a gold mine of untapped potential.
So less about creating a desire from scratch and more about identifying what's already there and then amplifying it.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's fascinating. Where do we even begin with that?
Well, I think that every market, no matter what the product is, exists on some sort of spectrum of awareness.
Okay.
And Schwartz calls this the 5 stages of market sophistication.
Okay.
And so at one end of the spectrum, you have a market that has absolutely no idea
Yeah.
that they have this desire or any solutions.
Right.
And on the other end of the spectrum, you have a market that has seen it all,
Okay.
heard all the promises, and they're basically immune to advertising.
So 5 stages of skepticism.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. That's quite a range. So the key takeaway here is to know where your audience falls on that spectrum and then tailor your message accordingly.
100%.
Yeah.
So let's say you are launching a brand new product, something totally innovative.
Okay.
In stage 1, you're not going to waste time explaining a bunch of features and benefits
Right.
that your audience won't even understand yet.
Right.
You need to focus on the problem.
Okay.
What is the pain point that your product solves?
Like, tired of doing laundry instead of leading with, the new revolutionary washing machine features or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens in stage 2? What do? We start subtly hinting at the solution or?
Yeah, so in stage 2,
Yeah.
people are starting to become aware
Okay.
of this desire.
Okay.
They might be actively looking for a solution,
Yeah.
but they're skeptical.
Okay.
They've been burned before.
Right. By products that overpromise and underdelivered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Products that overpromise and underdeliver.
So how do you break through that?
Well, you don't want to
Yeah.
try to force your message on them.
Do you just shout louder about how great your product is?
No.
Mm.
That's the opposite of what you should do.
Okay.
Schwartz says you need to acknowledge their skepticism,
You're right.
show them that you understand their hesitation.
Okay.
Remember that Postum ad he talks about?
Yeah.
The one, Why Men Crack?
Postum, for people who don't know. It's that coffee alternative. So it was like a dead product.
Yeah. Considered a dead product.
How on earth did he bring that back from the marketing graveyard?
Well, he was tapping into a different kind of desire altogether.
Mm.
He understood that people in the 1960s, especially men, were dealing with a lot of stress and pressure.
Yeah.
Why Men Crack wasn't about Postum.
Right?
It was about a problem that resonated with his market.
Right.
And by addressing that problem head on, he captured their attention.
That's brilliant. He bypassed their resistance by speaking directly to their experience.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stage 2 is about acknowledging that skepticism.
Yes.
What about stage 3? How does the game change when people are aware of, more of the solutions that are available?
So in stage 3, the market has been bombarded with similar products.
Okay.
So consumers are becoming more discerning, more skeptical of claims. Competition is heating up.
Right. So it's not enough to just be aware of the desire anymore. You got to stand out from the crowd a little bit more.
We got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stage 3 is all about differentiation. What about stage 4? What happens? Where do we go from being bombarded?
Well, so stage 4, this is where the cynicism sets in. They've seen it all.
Okay.
They've heard all the promises.
Right.
And they're tired of being disappointed.
They're jaded.
They're jaded. They need something truly innovative to even pay attention.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this is where marketers go wrong. They think louder is better.
Yeah. No, I can see how that would backfire for sure. So how do you convince someone who's basically immune to advertising at that point?
You need to disrupt their expectations.
Okay.
Think about those commercials that really grab your attention.
Yeah.
Not by shouting about the product,
Right.
but by telling you a story.
Right.
Or presenting something totally unexpected. They work because they cut through the noise.
They break through that. Yeah. Exactly. So not blending in, standing out in a way that kind of challenges their preconceived notions.
100%, yeah.
I like it. Okay, and then we've arrived at stage 5, the final frontier.
The final frontier. So this is a dead market.
A dead market. What does that even look like?
This market has lost faith.
Okay.
They still have the desire,
Okay.
but they no longer believe
Oh.
any product can fulfill it.
Oh, wow.
So they've given up.
So they've given up on finding a solution. That sounds like a tough crowd. But I mean, obviously we already know that Schwartz brought Postum back.
He did, yep.
So is there a way to revive a brand from that advertising graveyard?
Yeah, so it's no longer about intensifying a desire.
Okay.
It's no longer about highlighting product features.
Right.
It's about connecting with the reader
Yeah.
on a deeper level, appealing to their identity,
Right.
their aspirations, rather than their desire for the specific outcome.
Okay.
Think about the Marlboro Man campaign.
The Marlboro Man, yeah.
Took a product
Such a classic example.
that had a certain image
Right.
and flipped it on its head.
Yeah. How did they pull that off? How did they manage to do
Well,
it?
instead of fighting against this existing perception of cigarettes, they embraced a different kind of masculinity.
Yeah.
They associated their brand with this rugged individualism, adventure, the great outdoors. Suddenly, Marlboro wasn't just a cigarette.
Right.
It was a symbol of freedom, self-reliance.
So they tapped into that desire for identification.
Exactly.
Aligning oneself with a certain image or ideal.
100%.
That's really powerful.
It's very powerful. And, you know, it goes beyond just choosing the right image, right? You have to understand the existing associations people have with your product and build on them strategically. So that might mean intensifying positive associations, downplaying negative ones, or even introducing entirely new elements to your brand identity.
Okay. So I'm starting to see how this all ties together. So we've talked about understanding those stages of market sophistication and how crucial that is for crafting a message that's really going to resonate. But what about the message itself? How do you make sure people actually believe what you're saying? Especially when you're making these big, bold claims.
Well, that's where the concept of gradualization comes in.
Okay.
This is one of Schwartz's most powerful techniques for making even the most outrageous claims believable.
Okay.
And it all starts by understanding that people really buy for emotional reasons.
Interesting.
Not logical ones.
Okay.
Logic is important.
Yeah, because I feel like for me, if a claim seems too good to be true, I'm immediately like, okay, what's the proof? What's the logic behind this?
Sure. But you have to earn the right to present the logic.
Yeah.
So gradualization is about leading the reader on a journey,
Okay.
step by step. So instead of hitting them with your biggest promise up front, you build a case. You present evidence.
Right.
You address their objections.
Okay.
And you lead them logically to the conclusion that your product is the answer.
So you're building this bridge of logic and emotion.
Yes.
Guiding them towards that conclusion one step at a time.
100%, yeah.
Okay. Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah. So remember the TV repair ad?
Yeah.
He talks about that.
The one where he's like breaking down all those repairs that anybody can do to avoid those ridiculous service fees.
Yeah. So instead of launching into a sales pitch, he starts by tapping into this common frustration.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
TV owners are being taken advantage of.
And he does it by posing a question,
Which
immediately pulls you in, right?
Awesome.
It piques your curiosity.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like he's letting you in on a secret.
He's on your side.
Right. Like, we're in on this together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That question establishes a sense of intrigue, camaraderie.
Right.
He's aligning himself with the reader against a common enemy, you know? So it's like we're in this together.
Right.
Shady TV repair industry.
Hi.
And it all starts with that one powerful question.
Okay. That's brilliant, because I would not have thought of that.
Right.
So I'm starting to see how even those little details can make a huge difference. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
100%.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the psychology of your reader, knowing how to anticipate their thoughts, their objections, and crafting a message that addresses those concerns.
Right. This is incredible. It's like we're getting this little glimpse into the mind of a master persuader.
Totally.
Okay, so gradualization is about how you structure your message. What other techniques does he offer for making your advertising more believable and more impactful?
Another important one is mechanization.
Mechanization. Like, we're building robots now.
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
But I like where your head's at.
Okay.
This is about showing, not just telling.
Okay.
It's about providing a clear explanation of how your product works to satisfy that desire.
So instead of saying, like, this vacuum will clean your whole house on a single charge, you'd be like, this vacuum is equipped with state-of-the-art lithium-ion batteries.
There you go.
That provide up to 2 hours of continuous runtime, allowing you to clean even the largest homes on a single charge.
That's a great example.
Like that.
You're providing that verbal proof.
Right.
That makes that claim believable because now you're satisfying their desire for logic and reason.
So you're not just throwing it out there and hoping for the best.
Exactly.
You're actually giving them that verbal proof
Yeah.
to make it more credible.
100%.
Okay.
And this can be even more effective when you're dealing with a product that have a wow factor, but maybe seems a little too good to be true.
Right. Like I imagine if you're dealing with like tech or, healthcare where people really want to understand the science behind it.
Think about those infomercials for products that seem to defy the laws of physics.
Right.
They spend so much time showing you how the product works, often in excruciating detail.
It's part of the strategy.
It's all strategy.
Yeah.
They're trying to bridge that gap
Right.
between skepticism and belief
Right.
by appealing to the logical part of your brain.
Like, don't take our word for it. Here's the science, here's the engineering, here's the years of research that went into developing this revolutionary product. Or whatever,
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so we've got gradualization, we've got mechanization working their magic in our copywriting. What else can we do?
Concentration is a big one.
Okay.
Focusing on your strengths
Right,
is really crucial when you're crafting your message.
So it's not about cramming in every single feature and benefit. It's about choosing the ones that are really going to resonate.
It's about being strategic. Choosing the ones that matter most to your audience.
Right.
And really hammering those points home.
Okay.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Concentration isn't just about highlighting your strengths.
Okay.
It's about positioning those strengths against your competition's weaknesses.
Oh. So it's like a strategic game of chess where you're not just moving your pieces, but you're kind of anticipating your opponent's moves.
Yeah, there you go.
And you're trying to find those openings where you can, exploit those weaknesses.
Exactly. Let's say you're launching a new fitness tracker. Right?
Okay.
And your main competitor is known for having a clunky interface and really bad battery life.
Okay.
You'd want to concentrate your message on the sleek design and the long battery life of your tracker.
You're not just highlighting your strengths, you're implicitly pointing out your competitor's weaknesses. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
It's like a subtle form of marketing judo.
I love that analogy.
You're using your opponent's weight against them.
It's not just about writing these catchy slogans.
Right.
It's about understanding the psychology of persuasion.
This is mind-blowing.
It is.
Okay, so we've got gradualization, we've got mechanization, we've got concentration. What else are we working with here?
What about verification?
Verification.
This is huge in making your copy believable.
This is where you bring in all those testimonials, statistics, case studies, all that good stuff.
All that juicy proof, all the evidence.
That backs up your claims,
Exactly.
Exactly.
So think beyond just randomly sprinkling in testimonials.
Right.
You want to strategically weave these proof points throughout your copy.
So it's like building this wall of credibility.
Yes.
That's hard to argue with.
100%.
Okay, so instead of saying, like, our customers love us, it's like, find that customer testimonial that really drives home that benefit that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And get specific, right? Like, numbers and data are incredibly persuasive.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, our weight loss program has helped thousands of people achieve their goals, you say, in a recent study, 9 out of 10 users lost an average of 12 pounds in the first 3 months.
Ooh. Now, those are some numbers that will get your attention, for sure. So it's like you're hitting them with that double dose of credibility.
Exactly.
You've got the social proof of, like, real people getting real results.
Yes.
But then you've got the data to back it up.
You got it.
Amazing.
So you're building that case step by step.
Okay.
Brick by brick.
It's like building this impenetrable fortress of persuasion.
There you go. That's what you're doing.
Okay. So we've got gradualization, mechanization, concentration, verification.
Right.
All these tools in our tool belt now. What else can we use?
Well, don't forget about reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Okay. Remind me what that one is again.
Yeah, so it's about taking those claims that you're making and amplifying them by combining different persuasive elements.
Okay.
So think of it like building a house, right?
Okay.
You're not just going to use wood. You're not just going to use brick.
Right. You got to use both.
You use both.
Yeah.
Strategically.
Yeah.
You combine them to create a structure that's strong, that's resilient. Reinforcement is about doing that with your copy.
Right.
You're taking those different elements.
Yeah.
Logic, emotion, social proof, credibility, and weaving them together.
Yeah.
To create a message that's it's undeniable.
So, like, for example, instead of just, stating the features of, like, I don't know, a new smartphone, you might combine that technical explanation with, maybe a testimonial from a customer who's like, this phone is so fast.
Exactly.
I can't believe how fast it is,
We're reinforcing the logical appeal of those specs with the emotional appeal of a real person's positive experience.
Right, yeah.
It's like a 1-2 punch.
It's like that 1-2 punch. Okay. I'm loving this. So we've got gradualization, mechanization, concentration, verification, reinforcement.
Yeah.
Anything else we can add to this to make our copy truly unforgettable?
Well, this is where interweaving comes in.
Interweaving. Okay, tell me more.
This is where it all comes together.
Okay.
You're taking all these different techniques, all these persuasive elements, and you're weaving them together into this tapestry of persuasion.
So it's not even just about using each one, it's about orchestrating them all.
It's an art form.
Okay.
Think about the ads or the marketing materials that really draw you in.
Right.
They're not just a random collection of features and benefits and testimonials. They're telling you a story.
Right.
They're evoking emotions.
Yeah.
They make you feel something.
Right. It's an experience.
Exactly.
You're not just reading it.
Yeah.
You're experiencing it.
It's a journey.
Yeah. And they draw you into their world.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which has been carefully crafted to appeal to all those things that make you tick.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's the power of it.
Okay. So how do you even begin to do that?
It's definitely a skill.
Yeah.
It takes practice.
Yeah.
But it all starts with truly understanding your audience.
Your target audience, right? You got to know who you're talking to.
You got to know who you're talking to.
What they care about.
What motivates them.
Yeah. What makes them tick.
What are they afraid of?
Okay.
And once you have that understanding, then you can start to craft a story that resonates.
Okay, so the story's like the foundation.
It's the foundation.
And then you build on top of that.
And think of it like this. Your story is the thread that connects everything together.
Go.
It's the narrative arc that keeps the reader engaged.
Right.
But to make that story truly compelling, you need to embellish it.
Right.
You need to provide those details.
Location and emotion.
So it's like you might start with a really captivating anecdote that illustrates this common problem that your audience faces.
And you've hooked them.
Right.
You've grabbed their attention with a story that feels real relatable.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can transition into, let's say, a section where you explain the science behind your product.
Oh, okay. So bring in that mechanization.
Bring in the mechanism.
To kind of break it down.
Yes.
Why it's different, how it works.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you might want to reinforce those claims with a testimonial from a satisfied customer.
I love it. Okay.
Someone who's experienced those benefits firsthand.
Right. So you're bringing in that verification at that point.
Exactly.
Okay. And then to add a little urgency, maybe you offer, a limited time discount or something.
There you go.
For those who act now, tap into that fear of missing out.
It's all about finding that perfect balance, right?
Between the storytelling, the logic, the emotion.
This is great. So you're really you're weaving it all together.
It's like weaving a tapestry.
Yeah.
When it's done well,
it
can be incredibly powerful.
I bet. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground when it comes to crafting that copy.
Yes.
But there's one more thing from the book that I kind of want to touch on before we move on.
Okay.
And he talks about this idea of writing with mood.
Mood, yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so mood is all about using language to create an emotional atmosphere.
Okay.
Almost to evoke these feelings and sensations that enhance your message and draw the reader in deeper. So think about how a movie...
So we're setting the stage for our persuasive masterpiece.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's like choosing the right lighting, the right music, to create that ambiance.
Think about how a movie uses music and lighting to evoke certain emotions.
Yeah, okay.
You can do the same thing with your copy.
Got it.
By carefully selecting.
So it's not just about what you say.
No.
It's about how you say it.
It's about how you say it.
Okay.
It's about using language to create an experience.
Okay.
So instead of just stating facts and figures.
Right. Expert speaker.
You would use vivid language, sensory details, maybe some evocative imagery.
Right.
To paint a picture with words.
So instead of saying, like, this resort is relaxing, you'd say, imagine sinking your toes into the warm sand as the gentle sea breeze whispers through the palm trees, carrying with it the scent of hibiscus and salt water.
There you go.
Oh, my gosh.
You've taken them there.
I can feel the sand between my toes. Oh, my gosh. Okay, this is amazing.
You're not just telling them about it. You're making them feel it.
Right. So you're adding this whole other layer of persuasion.
Yeah.
Because you're appealing to them on this subconscious level with these emotions.
Yeah.
And that's the power of it. You're tapping into those deep-seated emotions that drive our decisions.
You're creating, it's like an emotional shortcut.
Yes.
To persuasion.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you can evoke those positive feelings and those sensations, now they're more receptive.
They're primed.
They're more open.
They're ready to be persuaded.
Yeah, okay.
And when you combine that with everything else we've talked about, mood can take your copy from good to great.
To unforgettable.
Yeah.
This is incredible. It's like we're not just writing copy anymore. We're crafting experiences.
It's an art form.
Okay, so we've got gradualization, mechanization, concentration, verification, reinforcement, interweaving, and mood.
It's a lot.
Is there anything else, or have we officially unlocked the secret vault of persuasion here?
Well, we've covered a lot, but there's always more to learn, right?
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's not just about following a formula.
No.
It's about understanding these principles and then getting creative with how you apply them.
And being willing to experiment.
Right. Okay, and so speaking of experimentation, I do want to kind of go back to one more thing that he talks about, which is this idea of continuous learning.
Yes, he's right. The most successful marketers, the most successful communicators are the ones who are lifelong students.
Right. You're never really done learning in this field.
You're never done.
It's not like you're going to find that one magic formula and it'll work forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the tools might change.
Right.
But the fundamentals of persuasion, they're timeless.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're dealing with a stone tablet or a smartphone screen.
Right. It's about understanding human psychology, which really hasn't changed that much.
Exactly.
We're still driven by the same core desires and motivations and fears.
Yeah.
So it's not about keeping up with the trends as much as it is just understanding those fundamentals.
100%. So yeah, the most successful marketers, they're constantly testing. They're measuring, they're refining their approach based on, what's working.
Right. Real world results.
Real world results.
Okay. So be adaptable, stay curious.
Yeah.
And just never stop learning about your audience.
100%. That's the key. Always be learning.
It strikes me that this book, it's not just about advertising, is it?
No, not at all.
It's like breakthrough advertising. It's about understanding people, why we do the things we do.
It's about what makes us tick.
What makes us say yes.
Yes.
Make that buying decision or whatever it is, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, his insights, Schwartz's insights are valuable for anyone who wants to be a better communicator, period.
Right. Like
it doesn't matter if you're, writing an email, negotiating a raise, or trying to convince your kids to eat their vegetables.
Right. This is like he's given us the secret decoder ring for human behavior, basically.
Yeah. It's like a cheat code.
Yeah. So it's not about keeping up with the latest marketing trends.
No.
It's about understanding those fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
Of human psychology, which are always going to be relevant.
Always.
Regardless of how the medium changes or the message changes.
The tools and tactics might change.
Right.
But the principles, those are timeless.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like my mind is blown wide open right now. But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that I think is so important.
Okay.
Which is this idea of, we talked about all this stuff, but you've got to be willing to experiment.
Yeah.
You've got to be a continuous learner.
Absolutely. You got to, I mean, the best in the world, they never stop learning.
Right.
They never stop testing.
Yeah.
They never assume they have all the answers.
Yeah, because it's not like you're going to find that one magic formula and then it's going to work forever, right?
It's always evolving.
Yeah, you got to be adaptable.
Yeah.
You got to stay curious.
The market's always changing.
Yeah.
Your audience is changing.
You got to know your audience, like we talk about, but it's a constant evolution.
100%.
Well, this has been incredible.
It has.
I feel like we barely even scratched the surface
I know, right?
of what breakthrough advertising has to offer.
There's so much to dig into.
But I feel like, if nothing else, people have got like a foundation now.
Totally. And if this is interesting to you, if you want to learn more, get the book.
Get the book.
Breakthrough Advertising.
It's worth, I mean, even if you can't find it for $900, whatever you can find it for.
Yeah.
It's worth every penny.
It's an investment.
So on that note,
yes,
I think it's time for us to wrap things up.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey.
Yes, thank you.
Into the world of breakthrough advertising. It's been a pleasure.
This was fun. Until next time.